Hello and welcome to the Clever Fox YouTube channel. My name is Ilysse and today we are going to be using my Clever Fox financial planner to map out my budget for the month of August. If you have not yet sat down to do your budget, pause this video, grab your budget planner and join me. Make sure that you watch the whole video so you don't miss any of the budgeting tips and tricks that I'm sharing today. And also make sure you are subscribed to our channel and you have that notification bell turned on because we have a lot more amazing videos to come. Let's get started. Now, before we fully get started, I want to note, if you haven't yet watched our video from earlier in July of the top 3 mistakes that you may be making when creating your budget or working in your budget planner, I'd highly recommend you pause this and go back and watch that, because if you're having any trouble with a budget planner, that video should help you kind of figure out where those challenges are and how to use your budget planner more efficiently, effectively, both of those. So we're going to note here, August. This is an undated planner, which I always love. And then we are starting with Friday. You can use stickers for this, you can use a pen. I think that one thing that I really want to reiterate is there's really no wrong way to budget. When I reference the budget mistakes that you may be making in your planner, they're more about ways to use your planner more effectively. And if you're having trouble with a budget, hopefully those tips help. But I'm not saying it's completely wrong. You're not allowed to do this, because at the end of the day, it's your planner, and the way that, oops, we made a mistake. We'll just go this over here. That happens, right? Mistakes happen. The way that I break down my budget and the numbers make sense to me may be a different way than you do it, and that's okay. Of course, there's some facts, right? Putting my mortgage in a home budget is going to make sense. Putting my mortgage in a fund budget isn't going to make as much sense. Now, in a month like this, where it ends at the 30th, but we still have the 31st, there's 2 choices. You could do a crossover like this and just add it down here. In that case, I'd probably swap these, or you can add it up at the top. I think that for a regular weekly or monthly planner, it would make sense to put it at the top if you had things going on, but I don't actually have anything that needs to be listed on the 24th or 31st, so I'm okay with it where it is. Next up, let's list out my bills and expenses. Mainly this is going to be bills. So I have my mortgage, and what I'm listing out here is my portion of it, because there's some bills that we split. Then we have my HOA first, and this is $225. Again, my portion. Next up is an Amazon credit card. I don't have a number for that yet, like a total, because the balance hasn't populated yet. And then I have my car lease. Then I have my business credit card. So the way that I determine this is I write a P or a B. Actually, this one is my personal, not my business. I also don't have an amount yet, but this one is due on the 11th. Then I have my car insurance. My car insurance is due on the 15th, and that is $122. Then I have my electric bill. This one's gonna be interesting. So I don't have that amount yet. However, I've always been on an equal payment plan. This one is the 16th. Let's get a correction tape out here. I've always been on an equal payment plan, but there was such a large overage last year when the payment plan balance settled that we've decided that we're going to switch to the normal monthly payments. However, July's bill was like $545 or something. It was very, very high. And I guess that's what I'm going to have to budget moving forward. So then I have my internet. So it's tough in the summer. I think that one of the things that makes it the hardest is that my townhome is 4 stories tall, and my office and my bedroom are both on the top floor, which means that heat rises, and in order to get it to be cool up here, because there's only one zone in the house, but in order for it to be cool up here to work and sleep, we have to set the thermostat quite low in order to get the air up here as well. So it's only a seasonal issue. It shouldn't be this bad. The bill shouldn't be this high in like the fall months and the spring months, but It's kind of a bummer. It's a lot of money. Luckily, I have someone who's helping with the bills because my boyfriend and I split all home-related bills. So the ones that we split are the mortgage, the HOA, the internet, and the electric and gas. And then like when there's a water bill quarterly, that's split as well. My taxes are built into my mortgage, so that's being split because it's part of the mortgage. And then, you know, if there's anything we need to buy for the home, like water filters or things like that, those are split as well. Okay, now I'm going to put my paydays down. So those are my main paydays from my regular job. And then I also have a couple of other paydays from additional work that I do. So we're gonna get those in here because it's always helpful to see when the money is coming in. Then we have some of these bill stickers. So I actually wanted to use these circle bill due stickers, and I'm gonna pop them first on the bill due dates. So we have the 1st, the 3rd, the 6th, the 11th, the 15th, the 16th, my week of bills, 15th, 16th, 17th and 18th, always. Now, one of the things that I tend to do when paying my bills is because I'm paid on Mondays, I tend to just pay any bills that are due that week on Monday. So let's say my payday for August 11th, I will pay my bill for here, 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 here. And because this is due the 18th, I would pay this as well. So now we're just going to pop these in. Another thing that you can do here is add some sort of bullet point so that I can just check it off once it's been paid. So we'll write those. Then let's add in the bullets here while we're at it, being efficient with our time. Sometimes I moved around where those went because of the payday stickers being in the way. Not really in the way, just being there. But I feel like having those is like an obvious indicator. So then we have Amazon, Honda, the 11th is Cap One. And I forgot one here. I talked about Capital One Personal. I forgot Capital One Business. That is due on the 20th. So we need a final bill due sticker for that. I knew something was missing. Okay, back here we have Geico, PSE&G, Optimum. The 18th is Verizon. Then the 20th is Capital One Business. And then we have Guardian, which is my dental insurance. My health insurance is covered through my job. My dental insurance is not. All right, now we're going to put these in here for to-do list. And then I think that for monthly goals, I want to continue using the highlighter, but I don't want to use it like with the bullet point part. So we're going to just make a couple of monthly goals really obvious. Now, I love these. Their mild liners are very popular. The one thing I will say is that when you write and then you highlight over them, it tends to smudge a little bit. Sometimes if you give it a little bit of extra time to dry, like let's just kind of do that to give it a sec to dry to test this. But in the meantime, I pulled out these budget stickers that are inspirational. And I think I'm going to use, let's say, a little progress each day adds up to big results. Let's just kind of put this right over here. Okay, now let's try this out. The backing of this paper is different from this paper, so it's not going to be a perfect test. But you can see that that's smudged. So if that happens, just kind of go over it a couple of more times. But I really think that this paper choice was not the right choice to test this. So we're going to write the monthly goals, then we can highlight over them. So my monthly goal number 1 is going to be to save $750 towards savings. My goal number 2 is going to be no Amazon purchases. I've been a bit spendy lately and I need to reel that in a little bit. My goal number 3 is going to be increase my income from July by 20%. Now, I've talked in past and recent especially budgeting videos about the fact that I am on a reduced hours schedule at my regular job where I won't be working Fridays, which means that I'm also on a 20% pay decrease. I'm still on my health insurance, thank goodness, but as a result, I want to make up for that and increase by 20%. So now you can see that this is sort of smudging, but not badly. So I'm just going to kind of clean the highlighter off again and then do the same thing. I just feel like you can see it better. Like it's bright, it's there, it's highlighted, it's yellow. So I like that. Okay, now let's take a look at our to-do list. When it comes to to-do list for budgets, it tends for me, and probably for you as well, to be to-dos that are financially related. So one of them is going to be my July business expenses. Then when I'm looking at things that are going to cost money financially in the month, we have my niece's birthday. We have my godson's birthday. It's like it says Pawnee. We have my best friend's birthday, which will probably just be us going out to dinner. I have a family vacation, and I have a trip to Texas. All of these I'm going to need to budget for. I'm going to leave the others open because I like to give space and see, what comes up throughout the month. So now we have my income. So I'm going to do my 2 different sources of income, and we'll write those amounts. And then for savings, we have retirement, and I'm just going to call this general savings. When I say saving $750 towards savings, it's like general savings, emergency fund. It's all kind of the same for me. I used to very specifically categorize my savings, but I don't do that anymore because I find that having it all in one place is better for me personally. It was really great at a certain time in my life, but as my life changes, my financial needs have changed, and the way that I save has also changed. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, and I probably should have done this earlier on, but it's not too late to do it, is I'm going to use a different color highlighter to mark off the days that I'm not going to be home. And the reason that I'm doing that in my budget planner is because a lot of my budget, especially like home, groceries, all of that, is based on when I'm actually home. And so I think that having some of these days blocked off is going to be a really good indicator for me. And I'll explain that as soon as we get through these. So as you can see, there's a lot of days that I won't be home. And that impacts the way that I'm going to be spending money. And then we're gonna come through here as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 out of the 31 days in August, I'm not home. So that means I'm only home for 18 days. And what that mainly impacts is like my groceries, dining out, things like that. So as we switch over to the monthly budget pages, that's going to make an impact. It's also going to make an impact on transport. So first up, let's look at home. So we first have mortgage. This is fixed. It's not going to change. And HOA. And we're going to put the budgeted is $1,680.50. And the HOA is $225. That's what the actual is going to be. So I could also just flip those over. And then we have, in addition, there's certain categories that you can decide where you want to put them. So like I'll put my electric bill in home because that is covered in the home. And while I'm not sure what it's going to cost based on my July bill, I think that I'm going to go a little over. So I'm going to budget $600, but $300 because it's a split bill. So that's a higher budget than I've done, but it's not too far off from when I was paying it for myself. I'm also going to put optimum here because that is the internet, that is for the home. And then we have my portion here, that is $45. And I think that that's all I'm going to do for the bills that are home. But then the next thing is going to be, we're just gonna write miss home items. This includes cleaning supplies, paper towels, if we need to get like a new, air filter for the air conditioning, things like that. And here I'm going to budget $30, thinking that maybe between the two of us, we won't spend more than $60 on that. Next up, we have food. So I'm going to write groceries, and this is where how many days I'm home really has an impact. And we're also going to write restaurants. Now, my restaurant budget is not going to include travel days. That's something that I'm going to include in a different category. So for the time that I'm home, let's take a look again. I would probably do grocery shopping. It's like this week I'm only home twice. This may be one of those like freezer pantry cleanouts. I have a feeling that we're only going to go grocery shopping once or twice in the month. So I'm going to budget, again, my portion, $150 for groceries. I'm also going to budget $75 for restaurants. I think those will be good numbers for me. Then we have healthcare. So first up is my dental insurance, and that budget is going to be $21.35, but that's also what the actual will be. Then I'm going to put here co-pays. I have 2 doctor's appointments in the month. Those should be $100 in co-pays. Now let's shift over to personal. So in the personal category is where I'm going to put my cell phone bill. So that's Verizon, and that is $146, and that's what the actual will be. I'm also going to budget for manicure. Depending on where my manicures fall, I tend to get 1 or 2 in a month. It just depends on if I get a manicure, in the last week of the month, it may be a little bit different for the next one, but those manicures are $60 including tip. So that's $120 for the month is what I'll budget there. Now for transport, let's do my car insurance, and also gas. So the car is $429. My car insurance is $122. Those are going to stay the same. And then gas, so 1, 2, 3. 3 of the trips that I'm going on are going to be using my car. So I'm going to budget, I'm going to do $120 for gas. It's probably way too high given that we split it when we're going on big trips, but I think that that's about good for that. Okay, now we have entertainment. Entertainment is actually where I'm going to put the things for the trips. So we have family vacation, and we have my trip to Texas. With each of these trips, there's not going to need to be too much money spent. So the family vacation is only for a few days. Actually, we come home probably towards the end of the day here. So I'm just gonna kind of do a half there. And I could see us maybe going out to dinner once, but we'll also be doing having groceries at the house. So I'm going to budget $75. And then my Texas trip is a very quick trip. I could see myself spending money for dinner on Friday, lunch on Saturday, and then I come home Sunday. So I'm going to give myself a $100 budget. Okay, now for other. The other ones are going to include the birthdays. So Scarlett, my niece, Donnie. We also have my boyfriend's niece's birthday, but we've already bought her gift. And then Elle. And $50 for each. And then I think that we are good with my budget. What is not included in here is savings. So because I don't have credit and loans, I could put it here. I'm actually gonna put it though in the personal category because it's my personal savings. So we have retirement and general savings. And that was, I believe, $500 I decided on for retirement. Okay, now it's time to add our numbers up. Sorry, I want to make sure that the numbers are right. Okay, so my total amount budgeted is $5,138.85. Between both of my jobs, that is enough. Plus, I should have some available there for savings. But my goal is going to be to reduce spending as much as I can. So I've heard about going to the grocery store Aldi, which is what I want to try next month and see if I can really get my grocery budget down, and then see if there's any other ways that I can cut back as well. As you can see, most of my high bills or budgeted amounts are my actual bills, things that I can't really lower, but maybe we can find ways with being away so much to also reduce the electricity and things like that. So that is our August budget. You can pick up this planner over at cleverfoxplanner.com. If you haven't yet started your budget, hopefully you sat down, opened it up, and spent some time doing it with me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when we share new videos. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.